This lecture is from the Educational Psychology course by Dr. Bev Knox. It is titled, Qualities of a Good Teacher, Part 3. Common Weaknesses of Teachers. Teachers, even the most experienced, are helpful with some weaknesses. Every teacher would like to see themselves as being perfect, but admitting that we are all flawed in different ways is the first step to becoming an excellent teacher with purpose. Here are some common weaknesses in teachers. First is the issue of perfectionism. Making mistakes is a normal part of human life. Perfectionism is a fear-based pattern whose short-term rewards are getting the job done and exceeding expectations. Its long-term effects, however, include burnout, compromised quality of work, and missed deadlines. Being afraid to make mistakes primes us for burnout and overwhelms us with fear, factors that distort our functioning as teachers. Dealing with others as a perfectionist is challenging since you will always want them to do things your way, allowing little room for the ideas and imperfections of others. Perfectionism also prevents you from taking constructive criticism from colleagues who may want to share relevant observations on your interaction. Next is comparison. Though no one is perfect, some teachers seem to have it together, and this may be the basis for our comparison. Comparison can hinder your success as a teacher if you are constantly comparing yourself with colleagues you view as perfect. Learning helpful hints and new ideas from teachers with the strengths we would like to possess would help you overcome comparison. For instance, if a colleague is better at relating with learners and they look up to her more for guidance, instead of getting all jealous and bitter at her, seek to know what she does differently to get the students to open up to her. Next is spontaneous. If you are a spontaneous teacher, you act without planning but will rely on previous experience teaching diverse classes and using different approaches to teaching. Spontaneity in learning is not all bad, as it helps adjust the power imbalances in a typical classroom. Spontaneous teaching, however, can have some adverse effects on learning. This can result in a lack of structure to your lesson and poor lesson organization. It may also limit your degree of learner assessment of learner progress and achievement. To avoid the adverse effects of spontaneity, find a balance between flexibility and structure in the lesson. Consider the individual learner's needs and learning abilities when deciding on the instructional method.